Prime Minister Sherbadu Dewa addressed the nation yesterday as he briefed about the government's achievements in the past 6 months and challenges ahead. Even as the Premier tried to assure the public on the nationwide inoculation drive, the executive head was silent on other pressing matters, including border dispute, MCC and the controversy surrounding the judiciary. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. The meeting of the ruling coalition decides to hold all 3 levels of elections at the same time, in dilemma regarding the 5-year period as elections were held in different phases last time. The Prime Minister's address limited to formality, silent on issues including border dispute, MCC and judiciary, baseless projection of economic indices. The UN condemns an airstrike by Saudi-led coalition on Yemen detention center that killed more than 70 people and injured 200 others. And Norwich City blanked Watford 3-0 in the English Premier League, move out of the relegation zone for the first time this season. The meeting of ruling coalition's high-level political coordination committee formed to assist the government has decided to hold all 3 levels of elections in December 2022 or February 2023. The meeting of the committee held yesterday evening at the Prime Minister's official residence in Baluatar decided to proceed by addressing the legal complications related to local level elections. However, the committee seems to be in a dilemma regarding the 5-year period as the polls for all 3 levels were held in different phases the last time. Prior to this, the Election Commission had recommended the government to hold the elections within mid-May. Prime Minister Sherbadu Dewa has made his first address to the nation 6 months after leading the government.
In his address, Prime Minister Sherbadu Dewa briefed the nation about the achievements of the government in the past 6 months. Premier Dewa said that the government had prioritized resolving issues related to citizenship on the basis of consensus among political parties, ensuring effective implementation of federalism and strengthening the provincial and local governments. Prime Minister Dewa went on to add that the government was shouldering the responsibility of holding elections of all 3 tiers this year. In his address, Premier Dewa said that the government was on track to meet the vaccination targets and completion of reconstruction works of infrastructures damaged by the earthquake. Likewise, he added that the government in its first 6 months had expedited development works including national pride projects. Prime Minister Dewa said that procurement process of fertilizers had been eased and the government had ensured rescue, relief and resettlement for victims of natural disasters. Meanwhile, Premier Dewa has also urged everyone to support the government in its fight against coronavirus by following all health and safety guidelines.
At a time when indicators of recession are being reported in the economy, the government has claimed of achieving an economic growth. The Prime Minister in yesterday's address did not mention about the negative economic indicators. Government departments have been projecting a reduction in agricultural production by 9% because of unseasonal rainfall, while the government itself has failed in ensuring even 13% capital expenditure. Economists have said that the Prime Minister's progress report of the first 6 months was baseless. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked people in several provinces how did they find the Prime Minister's address. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
स्थानीय तहको निर्वाचन अहिले त्यो चाहिँ मिति तोकेरै अगाडि जानुपर्ने त्यस सम्बन्धी सरकारले केही बोलेको छैन।
लिपुलेक लिम्पियाधुराको बारेमा पनि कुनै सरकार बोल्दै बोलेन।
सम्बोधनबाट जनतालाई निराश तुल्याएको मैले महसुस गरेको छु।
केही उपलब्धि कुराहरू यो यसमा छैन।
यो रेलवे सम्बन्धमा सम्बोधन भएन।
देशभरमा क्षतिग्रस्त जिल्लाहरूका लागि राहतको व्यवस्था गर्ने कुराहरू एकदम सकारात्मक रहेको छ।
8,815 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in the country through PCR tests, while 1,888 tested positive through antigen tests. Meanwhile, the Department of Immigration has issued an updated notice for travelers arriving in and departing from Nepal.
The new regulation have been introduced on the basis of the decisions of the government taken on the 14th of January. Foreign nationals who have been administered the full dose of vaccine against coronavirus will only be eligible for on-arrival visa in Nepal. Meanwhile, those arriving Nepal will be required to quarantine themselves for at least 5 days. Those testing positive to coronavirus will be sent to isolation facilities at their own expenses. Everyone willing to enter Nepal must present documents including a PCR report with negative result produced 72 hours before their arrival. For Nepali nationals yet to receive a single dose of the vaccine, they must fill in the International Traveller Online Arrival Form available in the website of the COVID-19 Crisis Management Center and undergo an antigen test at the entry point. Foreigners other than Indian nationals arriving Nepal from land are required to present all these documents and test negative to antigen test at the entry point. In case of a positive report, they will be required to stay in isolation. Violation of these rules will lead to actions as provisioned by the Infectious Disease Act.
The government has implemented the odd-even number plate system for vehicles within Kathmandu Valley from today, citing the recent spike in COVID-19 cases. A meeting of the Chief District Administration Officers of Kathmandu, Bhaktapur and Lalitpur had decided to implement the odd-even number plate system for private and public vehicles. However, the odd-even number plate system does not apply to vehicles carrying medicines, medical resources, ambulances, fire trucks and vehicles used for transporting cooking gas, petroleum products, poultry products, fruits and vegetables, among others. The public have been directed to mandatorily use face masks while on public vehicles. Public vehicles have been prohibited from exceeding their seat capacity. Long-distance vehicles have also been prohibited from picking up passengers along the way and must only stop at designated spots. The government has also made it mandatory for the public to present vaccination cards before entering government offices, hotels, sports stadiums, airports, parks, among other places. It has been 3 weeks since the students of Nobel Medical College, Biratnagar, have been protesting against the institution, charging an additional fee exceeding 500,000 rupees. The students have been sharing their grievances at different departments, but to no avail. The Ministry of Home Affairs had directed the District Administration Office to take actions against the college operators after protests from the students. However, with the authorities yet to take actions against them, the college administration instead has been threatening the students of ruining their academics. With the students resorting to protest amid lack of action from the government, the future of the students remain at stake. Meanwhile, as the college administration tries to foil the agitation riding on a passive administration, students are subjected to growing frustration. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what do you term the high-ranking officials resorting to objectionable and indecent language? Your options are A, disrespecting the designation, B, dominating attitude, and C, need for moral education. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update. Nepal Police Club brushed aside Himalayan Sherpa in sudden death to progress to the quarterfinal round of the 20th edition of the Aharara Gold Cup underway in Pokhara. Nirkumar Rai put police ahead in the 52nd minute of the match, played at the Pokhara Stadium yesterday. However, Himalayan Sherpa equalized 7 minutes later through Captain Bishwas Shrestha. Both sides failed to score in the remainder of the match and it headed to additional time, which also failed to produce any goal. Police and Sherpa missed one kick each in the tiebreaker, taking the shootout to sudden death. Buddha Tamang and Ram Awaji of police converted in the sudden death, while despite Jiwan Gurung scoring from the spot, Purna Bahadur Gurung's shot was saved by police custodian Roshan Khadka. Winners of the match, Nepal Police will play Marang Mersyangdi Club in the last 8 clash. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.